Now, what did you say to her when she made you?
Much better over here. So you can see that, right?
After that, you indicate that Mr. Olson jumps up, correct?
Cross-examination gets described as though it were a battle over the big question. Did you do it? It almost never is. What actually happens is that a lawyer picks one small, concrete, checkable thing and asks the witness to account for it, and then does not accept anything that is not an account of that exact thing. A request about a payment, a search term typed into a computer, a gap of a few hundred milliseconds on a security recording, not a ranking, 3 cases, and 3 people asked to explain one item each, all real courtroom tape. We start in Tallahassee. Watch what the prosecutor does at the start of this. He does not ask an open question. He supplies the answer himself in the crudest possible form and puts it in Charlie Adelson's mouth to see whether he will take it. Adelson rejects the wording immediately and completely, but having rejected it, he now has to give his own version of the same conversation, and that is the real object of the exercise. He was convicted in November 2023 and sentenced to life without parole. A Florida appeals court upheld it in July 2026.
She says to you she needs health insurance for her kids.
Mm-hmm.
And she says to you, I'm getting none of the money at all.
Yeah, she said none of this is going to her.
But it would really help me if $1,000 of the $3,000 can be in the form of being on the books of your business, essentially.
Yes.
And did you say to her, Catherine, we just did a murder. I can't put you on the books of the business because that creates a paper trail.
No, we didn't just do a murder. I just got extorted.
Now, what did you say to her when she made you that request?
I said, I'll do it for you. No problem. I mean, I wanted to keep her happy.
Now, before you did that for her, what did you have to do?
I had to call my mom because she does the books at the office. I don't even have the checkbook. And I called her up and I said, I want to put Katie on payroll at the office for $1,000 a month.
When you called your mom, what did she say to you?
She said, was Katie going to be coming into the office? Is she going to start working for us? And I said, no, she's not. And then she's like, well, what's Katie going to be doing? And I go, oh, she's just going to be helping me out with some stuff and different things. It's a long story. And I think my mom was someplace when I was talking to her on her cell phone because she didn't question me much after that.
Did you make any special requests to your mom about how the checks would be made?
Yes, I did.
What was your request to your mom?
I said, put them as like, give me like 4 or 5 checks at a time because I just want to hand them to her like that. So I said, write me a bundle of checks at a time.
Why did you want your mom to give you a bundle of checks at a time?
Because I only planned on seeing her one time a month, and that was to make the extortion payment. So I figured if I gave her 4 or 5 checks each time, that's all I planned on seeing her.
Now, sometimes did you give her less than 4 or 5 checks at a time?
Not that I can recall.
Okay. Now, did there come a time when you went to go pick up the checks from your mom?
Yes.
And where did you go to pick up the checks?
I went to my parents' apartment.
And who was there when you came to pick up the checks?
My mom was there, and I don't think my dad was there at the time. He wasn't there at the time.
Was he there or wasn't he?
No, she was alone. There was no one else there.
Now, when you went to go pick up the checks, what happened and what do you remember?
I remember walking in, saying hi to my mom, and she's like, oh, the checks are over there on the counter like you asked for. And I saw there was a white envelope and there was a stack of checks sitting there. And she said, what's Katie doing for you? And I thought we'd already addressed it, but I'm like, she's working at the office, and I'm like, no, I told you she's not. She's like, well, $1,000 a month is a lot of money to pay somebody. And she's like, what exactly is she doing for you? And I said, it's a long story. And then she said, well, I'm your mom, like, tell me. Like, don't just tell me it's a long story. So this time she was like, and I was face to face with her, and she was more persistent in asking me, you know, what the heck's going on? Are you still dating her? And I'm like, no, we're definitely not dating anymore. She's like, well, why are you giving her $1,000 a month? This makes no sense.
What happened next?
I told my mom, you know, I wanted to tell somebody, because if I get killed, at least somebody will know where to look or what it could have been about. So I wanted my mom to know what happened, but I also didn't want her saying anything to anybody. So I told my mom, I said, listen, I'm going to tell you something, but I never want to talk about it again. I never want you to talk to me about it on the phone. Don't talk about it anywhere. And please, whatever you do not say anything to Dad. Do not say anything to Wendy. Do not try to make me go to the police, because I'm not going. You got to promise me all that, and then I'll tell you.
And what did you tell your mom?
I told her that the night of the 18th, I got extorted for $250,000.
How did your mom react?
She flipped out. She's like, well, what do you mean? Like, what is this about? Like, you know who killed Dan?
What did she want to do?
She wanted to go to the police.
And what did you tell her?
I said, absolutely not. I said, it's not going to bring Dan back. I go, you're just going to end up getting me killed, or they'll come after somebody in the family.
What was agreed upon between you and your mom that evening?
That she was never going to say anything to anybody.
How about to your dad?
That not my dad, not my sister.
Why were you so persistent with your mom that she couldn't tell your dad or your sister?
Because I thought they'd go to the police. I didn't think there'd be any way to stop them. These people told me that. I mean, I was told the night of the extortion, you got 48 hours to pay up or you're going to get killed. These people were not messing around.
Now, your mom gives you the checks, the first set of checks
Yes.
that day?
Yes.
And do you remember what month that was?
That was in September.
After she gave you those checks, would you periodically have to meet with your mom and get more checks?
Yeah, but not. I didn't even realize the staff got paid bi-weekly, so they got their checks every 2 weeks. So when I'd asked her for 4 or 5 checks, I was thinking like that would be good for the month. I didn't realize that was going to be like, 8-10 weeks.
Did your mom bring this subject up again?
She would ask me, "Are you okay?" She asked me, "Do you need anything?" She said, "Do you need money?" I'm like, "No, I don't want you guys getting involved. It's bad enough that I'm."
This is what digital evidence actually sounds like in a courtroom, and it is much slower than television suggests. A search term, an address typed into a box, the created time on a file read out to the minute and confirmed field by field. Robert Tellez was the elected public administrator for Clark County. He was convicted in August 2024 of the murder of the reporter Jeff German and sentenced to life with parole eligibility after 28 years. He maintains his innocence and has appealed.
You didn't have like a case with Mr. Garman at all, right?
No, sir, I didn't.
Okay.
And what was the search term to find that?
Well, one of the search terms was 7216 Bronze Circle, correct?
Can you show that to me?
Sure. $7216 Bronze. You can cue over to the overhead. Can everybody see that? So you can see that, right?
Yes, sir, I can.
And the date, the created time is 8/23/2022 at 6:05 p.m., correct?
Yes, that's what it reports to be.
Okay. And That was a weekday, wasn't it?
I'm sure it was, because, you know. I don't know.
And there's one more thing. This wasn't converted into UTC time. So if we subtract 7 hours, that's at 11:05 a.m. in the morning on 8/23, correct?
Again, I don't know if this document's been modified by a PDF viewer or not, but
Do you
it purports
recall-
to be of that day.
Do you recall the testimony? Well, no. You recall the testimony of Matt Hovanich, which said this was not converted, and when you convert it, this search was conducted at 11 o'clock in the morning, correct? You recall him saying that? I'm not asking if you agree with it. You recall it being said.
I know that I didn't do the search, so I couldn't tell you definitively.
So I'd like you to focus on my question. Do you recall Mr. Hovanich saying that here in court?
That's what he said.
Okay. And just to be clear, publishing 351. There it is. That's a weekday. That's a Tuesday, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you typically have random people coming into your office using your desktop software?
Again, that could have been modified in a number of ways.
So,
in
sir,
a number of ways, sir.
That's not my question. My question is, as the public administrator, did you allow people to go into your office in the middle of the day and manipulate and use your computer?
I didn't allow it, but that's not to say that it didn't happen, sir.
So the answer is, you had an edict that said you're not allowed to do this, correct?
But if I wasn't around or whatever, I don't know.
Okay. I mean, you would hope as the head of the department they would have at least not used your computer, right?
I would have hoped, but you'd be surprised what happened in that office.
Okay. Right, because of the conspiracy? Right, okay. Isn't it true? I think we've heard from both your expert and Detective Jappy that there was no outgoing messages from your phone between 8:48 a.m. and 2:05 p.m. Correct?
Right.
Okay. You mentioned, or at least we've kind of heard this comment about, well, maybe I was hacked. Just to be clear, you never reported to anyone that your phone was hacked prior to September 2nd, correct?
I wouldn't have known about it because there didn't seem to be anything wrong with the phone at the time.
So the answer is you've never reported any situation that
I didn't have
hacked,
knowledge
correct?
of whether it had been or not.
You've never reported that your phone was stolen, correct? Prior to 9/2.
That definitely did not happen.
Okay. You never reported that your house was broken into prior to 9/2, correct?
I did not. Nope.
And there aren't any text messages on your phone complaining about being hacked, right?
Again, if I was hacked, I might not have known it.
Well, and sometimes when we notice we've been hacked, some people will send out emails to people like, oh, ignore this email, I've been hacked, things like that, right?
There are various types of hacks, sir.
Right. But there's nothing like that on your phone either, correct?
No, and again, that doesn't necessarily mean it wasn't hacked. Or that somebody didn't create a false image later or add files to that image later.
Okay. So, sir, I want to now talk to you about this conspiracy a little bit. Is Rita Reed in the conspiracy?
Well, she certainly took money from Compass Realty and Adam Fenn.
So the answer is she conspired to murder Jeff Gehrman?
I don't know to what extent she had knowledge of anything other than to make sure that I got taken down.
Taken down. So she conspired to have you framed for the murder of Jeff Gehrman?
I don't know that she was privy to that particular part of.
So she's not part of the conspiracy?
I can't say either way, sir.
Okay, so you're not tying her to this?
I don't have any evidence to tie her to
Can we
this.
rule her out?
Objection, if you'd be allowed to answer his questions.
Sir, go ahead, please finish.
What was the question
I'll
at
ask
this
the
point?
question again. Can we rule Rita Reed out of your conspiracy to murder Jeff Gehrman?
I think it's weird that maybe it's not weird. Obviously, you've got to try to minimize the concern that I have with this and try to make me seem like I'm crazy for it. But there's the evidence to back up what has been occurring. So that is what it is, sir.
Okay, so let's focus on my question. Can we rule out?
I don't know that we can either way, sir.
Okay, so it's possible she's part of it.
I would be surprised, but I couldn't rule it out.
Okay, so it's possible.
Anything is possible.
Okay, Alicia Goodwin, is she part of this conspiracy?
Again, part of the conspiracy, sure. part of a conspiracy,
Let me specify. Is she part of a conspiracy to murder Jeff Garriman?
I would think it's unlikely.
Okay, so we can rule her out.
I mean, again, I couldn't rule anything out, but certainly I think it's unlikely.
So it's possible.
Again, anything's possible. So
Okay, so we can't rule her out because anything's possible.
that's what I said. I said
All right.
unlikely, but you know,
Okay,
if we
understood. How about Mr. Cahill? Is he part of the conspiracy to kill Jeff Garriman?
again, highly unlikely, but
You're not ruling it out.
Without further evidence, I cannot rule it out, sir.
Okay, so it's possible.
Again, anything is possible, sir.
Is Thomas Monroe, who's part of Compass Realty, I believe, is he part of this conspiracy to murder Jeff Garriman?
Thomas Moore?
I apologize. Thomas More. Is he part of this?
I would think that would be likely, yes.
Okay, likely. Okay. And Compass Realty as a business as a whole is part of this as well. To kill.
And here the single thing is time itself. Curtis Reeves gave a statement to a detective, and this is that statement put back to him in order, with the security video running alongside it, where the two accounts are separated by fractions of a second, and both men keep saying so out loud. Chad Adelson died in that cinema in 2014. Reeves, a retired police captain, said he acted in self-defense, and in February 2022 a jury acquitted him.
Okay, we're going to keep going with your statement that was given the day of the shooting to Detective Proctor. We're going to go in order, okay?
Okay.
So, you come back from the manager. We're not going to have a discussion about turns around in the seat anymore. After that, you indicate that Mr. Olson jumps up, correct?
At the same time, we're talking about, I don't know, we're looking at the videos that are in milliseconds. So I think in real life, we're talking about milliseconds between standing and jumping up. Yes, sir.
Okay. So my question to you was, after you said that he had turned around in his seat, he had now jumped up. So that's the point that we're at.
He's on his feet, yes, sir.
Okay.
And he's turned around and he's facing me.
Okay. And you indicated to Detective Proctor that the moment he jumped up, the popcorn went by the wayside almost immediately.
I didn't know what happened to the popcorn.
Okay. Didn't you tell Detective Proctor that immediately when he jumped up, the popcorn went by the wayside? Whether he took it from you, or you yourself dropped it, or it accidentally fell, it doesn't matter for the purposes of my question. My question to you is this. After you said that Chad Olson jumped up, you said that the popcorn went by the wayside immediately. Do you remember saying that to Detective Proctor?
I believe I do, yes, sir.
I didn't hear your answer.
Yes.
Okay, so according to you, immediately upon Chad Olson jumping up, the popcorn fell. Let's talk about what you said to Detective Proctor after the popcorn fell. After the popcorn fell, you told Detective Proctor that Chad Olson was virtually on top of you.
Correct.
So after the popcorn fell, he was virtually on top of you. Now, virtually on top of you would mean that he was basically in your row, virtually on top of you, correct? That's what you meant when you told Detective Proctor.
What I meant by that was that I was seated, he was standing over me, he was a giant. I have no idea if he was on his seat, I don't know. He was leaning over the back of his seat, yes,
Okay.
sir.
Now, when you say leaning over the back of the seat, wouldn't you agree with me that's a lot different than someone that's virtually on top of you?
That would be my interpretation of somebody who's attacking me, yes, sir.
Okay. You've been in law enforcement for a long time, right?
27 years ago now, almost 30 years.
Okay. You written police reports in the past?
30 years ago.
Okay. So how many reports do you think you've written? Thousands and thousands and thousands of reports?
I have no idea.
Okay. I mean, what I'm saying, though, is you haven't written 3 or 4.
No.
Okay.
Correct.
And in fact, as a supervisor, you probably reviewed reports of officers that were under your command, correct?
Correct.
And when you're reviewing reports, you're making sure that the reports are very accurate, very detailed, because you know that both the state attorney's office and defense attorneys are going to be looking at those reports to find out truthful and accurate information. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. You're reviewing it for content.
Okay.
Because you weren't at the scene, you don't know how accurate it is.
Okay, but you're reviewing it to make sure there's sufficient information and it's detailed because you know how important it is.
Correct.
Okay, and when you authored your own reports, you certainly wanted to make sure that the words you choose were extremely critical and that the words you choose were very accurate, correct?
35 years ago, yes.
Okay, so you're saying now you don't think it's important to be accurate with your words?
I use different words now.
Okay, I'm not asking you what words you use. I'm talking about the actual words that you use. It doesn't matter what the words are. It's that you're accurate whenever you speak. In other words, here you are describing an event where you believe, and we'll get to it, that you're in a life and death struggle, right? Correct. Wouldn't you agree with me that the words that you choose, the content, is so incredibly important?
I would think that the content, if it relays the feeling at the time, I'm not sure. Everything is important in this kind of an investigation.
Okay, so here's what I'm getting at. Today you're saying leaning over. Back on the day that this event happened, you tell Detective Proctor he's virtually on top of you.
That would be similar, yes, sir. They would mean essentially the same.
Really?
Yes.
Leaning over and actually on top of you to the point where you think you have to kill someone is the same thing.
I think you're trying to make it sound like he's physically on top of me.
Okay.
He was attacking me. He was very large. He was trying to come across his back seat. That would be my analogy of virtually on top of me. Yes, sir.
Okay. And you indicate that while Chad Olson is virtually on top of you, your left hand is out, and you're yelling, no, 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 or whoa, whoa, whoa.
I am trying to dissuade him from coming across, and my thought is, yes, that my hand is in front of me.
Okay, and when you read all these sentences that we're breaking up together, this is the picture. Chad Olson is virtually on top of me, so I have my left hand out. Now...
No, I said it was in front of me. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, let's just keep going through the statement. After that, isn't it true that you say, I'm holding on, I'm touching something, it's his chest, or it's his arm?
I wasn't sure. In retrospect, I think that's when he grabbed the popcorn. He hit my hand.
Okay, we're not talking about in retrospect. At the time that you gave the statement to Detective Proctor, at the time, closest in time to the event of when you shot and killed Chad Olson, didn't you tell Detective Proctor that Chad Olson was virtually on top of you?
Yes.
You have your left hand out. He's virtually in your lap, and you're touching his chest and his shoulder area to give the impression that he is on top of you, and that's why you're going whoa, 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 and no, no, no.
That's correct.
And at that time, and again, this is all after the popcorn fell.
Again, popcorn, I had no idea where it was.
Okay, I'm not asking you if you knew where it was. Based on your statement, you said when he jumped up, the popcorn fell immediately. All of this that we're talking about was after the popcorn fell, according to you, Detective Proctor.
Okay.
Okay. I don't want you to just agree.
One payment, one search, 1/2 second. None of these is the question the case is really about, and that is exactly why they get asked. A witness can decline to accept a characterization of his whole life, but he has to say something about a timestamp. It is worth repeating that the third man here was acquitted, and that the jury who watched far more of that footage than we have concluded the state had not proved its case. Everything here is public record courtroom tape. Subscribe for more real case files, told with respect for the people at the center of them.